Hey guys, Tim here to show you how to do decals on your car in your own garage by yourself and have them come out looking pretty mint the first time. Now, I am no professional at all and I'm doing this under not great circumstances. It's pretty cold out. You typically want your temperature to be 40 to 90 degrees, but this still came out pretty good if I say so myself. I did this side first just to get the hang of putting the decals on. This is my experimental side, which means if the decals were a little tilted or if there's little air bubbles, I wouldn't care too much because it's the passenger side. No one's really going to be looking at it as much as the driver's side. Now let's get to it and show you guys every step to getting your decals on your car by yourself at home and have them looking pretty professional. Now, first and foremost, before putting anything on, whether it be chrome stripping, stickers, or a decal, you're gonna want to wash the car real good, get any dirt off of it. We just had a pretty good rain, so this was just covered in dirt. You want to get all that off so we don't have any contaminants that are gonna show up underneath the decal, so it comes out nice and smooth just like the paint. All right, you've got your car washed and in the garage. The next step is grab yourself a shop towel that you can find at AutoZone and your favorite glass cleaner. Now, I love this one. You can find it at AutoZone. The 99-cent store is cheap. You got a lot of it for the buck, and it looks great on windows, and it does a really good job at decontaminating. All right, so we'll shake it up, get it on the car. You're gonna wanna make sure you get the entire door just in case you don't want anything coming up from the side of the door. You don't know if you're gonna move your decal around, and you're not too sure where it's gonna be exactly yet. All right, we'll get it nice and wiped down. Go ahead and get the entire area. You're gonna wanna make sure all of this moisture is gone and dry. You're not getting it, you're not missing any cracks. You're not missing your door handles. Let's get the entire door. Good. Okay, so what we're doing here with the back of the decal is we're decontaminating it. Not a lot of people think about this, but for me, my decals have been sitting around for about a month. And in that time, they're collecting dust and little rocks getting pushed into the plastic. And I don't want that touching the door as soon as we hang it. Good. All right, so we're gonna get our microfiber towel. Get any more dust because it is pretty windy and the dust is kicking up. So this isn't the final time we're gonna need this. You're gonna wanna keep this around. As you can see, I've cut out the decals so they have plenty of room to move around, so when I hit it with that squeegee, we have less of a chance of there being air bubbles. We're also about to hang this. We're gonna find, I'm gonna put it about there, pretty close to the door. You're gonna wanna find where you're gonna wanna put it. And what I've got here is a couple tape strips. I'm gonna start with the one in the top, in the very middle. So as you can see, I can still kind of move it around. So you can get that good center, you're looking for it, and then if you want, once you think you've found what you want, put a tape right there, get it nice and smooth, put some right there, and go ahead and just look at the body line. See if that's where you want it, see if that's what you're gonna like. Go ahead and flatten this down. That looks about the same as the other door. So I think this is perfect. All right, so I've got my decal line and hopefully you do too. So what I'm gonna do for the next step is go from this 0 right here. This is where I like to start. It's nice and flat. I'm gonna run my hand, just like I'm applying the decal. Grab a piece of tape and put it right about the middle. Yep. You don't have to do too many of these. Just get a general idea. No pun intended. There you go, nice and flat. It's also gonna help for me because it's windy outside. So I'm gonna run my hand, start from here again, over here. Make sure it's flat, make sure that's where I want it. Right there, I think that looks good. Go ahead and do it again. All right. Make sure it's all nice and smoothed out. I'm gonna pull up this piece of tape. I'm gonna move this around just a little bit. There you go. And you want these nice and tight, not too sticky. You don't want to damage your paint. I think that looks good. All right, so we're just about getting ready to put this decal on. What I've got on me right now, just in arm's reach, is my squeegee. I got this one off of Amazon for about $5 for two. And what I like about this, it's got the little Velcro edge. I like that. It's softer than hitting it with the hard edge. I've also got my box cutter because we're going to be taking the backing off of the decal, and we're going to want to get that out of the way. All right, I'm sure at this point you're all eager to get your decal on, but before you do, just as an extra precaution, if you look, you can't see it on camera, but I've already got dust specks, and it's only been a few minutes since I hit the whole door with the glass cleaner. So I'm gonna hit it one more time. This towel I'm using isn't drenched, just a little moist, so it dries really quickly. Because trust me, I am eager to get this decal on as well. Hit it with the microfiber. It's looking good. Get in between here. And make sure, once we get to about this point, when we're putting the decal on, you peel down the paper and you clean this as well. Okay, so I've already started taking my decal off, but what I want to let you guys know is be real careful if you got sharp edges like this. Make sure it's coming up with the paper and not the backing paper. Alright, so I've already peeled. You're gonna, when you do peel, you're gonna hold this flush, pull it up. Now I've already got a piece of tape waiting for me up here. So I can sit that right there, not on the decal, just on the front paper. This is where your box cutter is gonna come in. There you go, be real careful, you don't stab the car. There you go. All right. Okay. Now it is official. It is time. I'm going to take this tape up. Doesn't matter if it takes some of the stickiness from that. You're not going to need it. All right. So we've got a general idea of our starting points. Be real careful. Slowly. Let's get that first little piece on the car. And for me, it's a little bit more complicated. I gotta go back and forth. But for sure, go from the middle out. The middle out. Start over here. There you go. There's the edge of the paper. Middle out. Yep. And just let this curve. You're gonna want to be careful because if you did one side at a time, you're gonna get creases, and then it's just gonna show up, and there's nothing you can do as far as I know, and it's just not gonna be good. So I've already got the right side down a little bit more than the left side, so I'm gonna equal that out. All right, so I've gotten to this first angle, and do the same over here. Make sure you're getting the outsides. There you go. Almost missed that one. Yeah, get it nice and flush with the paper. Don't want any contaminants getting in there. So what I had trouble on with the other zero is once I got here right in the center. So I'm going to be real careful. Yeah, you can see I'm getting the little creases. That's okay. I got rid of them. You see I got air bubbles starting right here, so very gently peel this up. All right, pulling these in. Looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble over here. It's okay. Okay, so I did run into a bit of a snag right here. I've got some creases. How I'm gonna fix that? I'm gonna smooth that out from the top. There you go. Be real careful about that area. And I apply it. See, there you go. I was having trouble before. It was showing up. not anymore. See, this is why I said start from the middle so you can work your problems out to the center and get rid of them. Now, if you're lucky, you might not even run into these problems. But just remember, there's always a good chance you're gonna run into something like this. Don't freak out, don't be scared. It's okay, you're gonna figure it out. Just be patient. Yeah, see, I got a little crease right there. It's already gone. Nothing too much to worry about. Kind of like I'm using an eraser to get rid of them. There you go. As you can see, I've got little air bubbles down here. Let's get rid of those. Let's push them out. All right. Look at that. We went from a problem with crease and bubbles here, got rid of it. So it feels nice and smooth. Not feeling any air bubbles, but just to be sure, I go from the top, applying a good amount of pressure, not too much. I'm gonna work them to the inside over here from the corners. All right, hit this side too. And that's looking good. All right, and just to try to stay even with the other side of the decal with the 0, I'm gonna hit this again. This time I get to show you guys, I'm pulling it from the corner very, very gently. You see that corner right there already wanted to come up. Go along very carefully, because it already wants the crease to be in such a wide and straight cut. So again, we're holding this down here nice and flush. Pulling this up very carefully. Up to the tape. Good. All right, got that handy piece of tape up here again. Take your box cutter. I'm pretty close. That's all right, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and again, we're gonna get that little strip out of here. Try to hold on to your decal. Start from the middle. Find where the paper ends. There it is. All right. You're gonna want to hold it very gently. You're gonna want it to curve naturally. There you go. Apply a little bit of pressure. There you go. Keep it flush with that paper. All right. Doing this pretty quickly. It's just a straight line, pretty simple, don't have to worry about too much. Where I've got to worry is right here, getting these corners nice and even. So now I've got a wider base to work with. Again, from the center, and bam, there you go. So now I'm gonna give it some pressure. Go from these corners. This is where this is where I've found air bubbles before. Yep, looking good, looking good. Get it from all angles. All right, and we're ready to do the second half of the decal. Okay, so you've got the bottom half on. It's looking great. If you make mistakes, don't worry about it. You know, the coolest part about this is that you've done it yourself. So what I've done right now is take off the tape from the centers, took this tape off of the middle. And for me, specifically, I'm gonna very carefully move this because we've already got the bottom half of the decal on. So that's what we're gonna use to guide us the rest of the way of the decal. That I want to be able to give these decals room to move. So I'll go with the one. It's probably going to be easiest for me. Grab your squeegee, have it nearby. Go ahead and clean up some. Yep, even up here too. All right. Microfiber. They're looking real good. Try not to touch the decal. You don't want any of the fibers getting stuck to it. Okay. I'm going to take off this top portion of the paper. I'm going to hold the decal like so, very gently. Start working my way from the middle out. Of course, watch what you're doing, be real careful, so if in case you do make a mistake, you can pull the decal back, you won't harm your paint too much. You'll be able to fix your mistake. It's alright, it's not really a mistake. Ah, see? What's that? Little air bubble. I don't want them here. There you go. It's just, you know, it's curving around, so that's what I'm doing, getting this flat. I don't want any creases in here. I don't want the front coming over here and it creases or anything. There you go. There. All right, I am happy with that. Make sure you go over it, get all the air bubbles out. I like to do it on top of the paper just so I don't run any risk of scratching my paint. And you can be a little rough with it. That's okay. Especially with the paper. And you can see I've got a couple little contaminants, but that's okay. It's not the decal, it's the paint. Alright, so we've got one side done. Let's get this tape out of here. Alright. Bend that down very gently. There you go. There you go. Yep. I'm trying to be very careful. If you start to see, you know, bigger contaminants, just kind of move the tape closer to the back side of the decal, or else you get some fibers on the back of the decal. You don't want that, of course. There you go. Get it out of the center here. Grab our squeegee and be very careful. Since I've got two sides of a decal that I'm doing at the same time, it might help if I took off the paper. There you go, get him out of here. All right, let's do it. Let's get started. Now I'm watching from the underside of the decal. Make sure there's no creases. That's what I'm gonna run the risk of most here, especially being the two sides going up at the same time. Fortunately, it's going relatively well for me. Kind of wanted to go on it by itself. There you go, got the middle. There you go. It doesn't get much easier than that. Of course, be careful. Be wary of air bubbles. Already got the bottom half. There you go. I like the way it's looking. It looks really good. Looks like we got a contaminant right here. Ah, it's just part of the paint. Nothing you can do about that. But that's okay. There you go. All right, those are on. I'm gonna start with the one since it's nice and stuck to the car already. It's been sitting for a good minute. Start from this corner. Pulling down with just my fingers. Not pulling too hard. Not pulling up any corners. Doing it real even. Making sure I'm not stretching the vinyl, which is what I've done before. It's not fun, doesn't look good. There we go. Nice and flush. As you can notice, the line where I cut the decal is flush, perfect. So that's great. That means we didn't move the decal and it's gonna come out in a line with the other 0. There you go. Making sure I'm not pulling up any corners. If you do a little bit, that's okay. Just make sure it doesn't stretch. That's where you're gonna have issues. Again, very gently, especially with this corner. We don't want this corner tearing. There you go. Yeah, you can see right here, I just pulled up a little bit, that's okay. There you go. You want to pull it down flush with the car. That's where you'll get your best results. As you guys can see, I've got a few small air bubbles and a couple little creases. Well, that's okay. That just gives me the opportunity to show you guys how to get rid of these. All right, so what would be optimal for getting this air bubble gone is a pin. I've got the corner of a staple because that's what I got. There you go. There you go. Let's get rid of this guy. Now it's not going to fully go away. It is a contamination underneath the decal, but we can make it look better than a whole bump. All right, so we've got a little line of bubbles right here from contamination. So what we're gonna do, decent amount of pressure, and I hit those from every angle. And while I can't remove these, I can make them look a whole lot better so you can hardly see them. And with that, I think those look pretty good. Guys, check this out. It's the morning after and these decals are looking so good. I am so happy with the way they came out. They look just like part of the paint, especially the flag, and I just wish the best of luck for all of you doing your own decals at home. I wish that they go this good, and if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Leave a comment on how I did, leave a like, leave a dislike, and thanks for watching.